Hello, hello, here we go. It's the Cop Eye Podcast.
Hello everyone, I think I had a bit of a technical glitch there, but getting used to this StreamYard stuff. Welcome back to the Cop Eye Podcast. I'm Nick Moran. I'm joined by big Leicester City fan Neil from Beyond the 90. How are you doing, Neil, mate? How's it going?
I'm all good. I'm looking forward to Sunday's match. I mean, I know it's been international football, but let's be real. Nobody really cares about it as much as actual club football.
Yeah, I mean, I've been dying to get back to the footy. Obviously, not so much with all the injury worries that we've had. Obviously, Trent getting injured, Gomez, Van Dijk, Salah getting coronavirus, Henderson's been cast as a doubt from, I think it was an article from the Times today, so that he's looking like he might be touch and go. So for me, it's nice to get back to footy, but I'm also dreading it a bit because we're coming up against the league leaders who are absolutely flying at the minute, aren't you?
Well, we are, but at the same time, I mean, we've got 6 wins and 2 losses, and that's put us top of the league. I mean, that's not exactly it wouldn't be the best results at the end of the day to put us top of the league, but it just shows you that this year the league has opened up massively. I was kind of scared over summer, especially with the likes of Chelsea going to spend loads of money. I thought yourselves would spend big money. I thought that top 6 would run away because there was kind of this group of us. Everton were around that with getting Ancelotti in. It seems like and then obviously Leeds as well have done well this season. The top 6 is kind of split up, and as somebody that's outside the top 6, that's exactly what we want. Because, to be fair, you guys get a lot of the bias, let's say, towards, especially from the media and stuff. So it's good to see that being broken up, in my opinion.
Yeah, like you said, you're doing really well. Like, was it 6 wins, 2 losses? You beat Man City, Arsenal, and Leeds all away from home, and then obviously losing to Villa and West Ham. But I mean, Liverpool fans can't talk about losing to Villa because obviously. that game that I just want to, that doesn't even feel real, that game, to be honest. But in terms of Liverpool, like I said, all those injuries like Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, obviously Salah's missing with coronavirus, Henderson's a doubt. I've just seen on Liverpool's Twitter account Fabinho and Thiago are both at the new training ground. I don't know what that means in terms of are they going to be fit or not, but the signs and the noise coming out of the media that they probably won't be involved, maybe on the bench. The only good news really is Robertson has been cast fit, I think, because he played did the night, I think, the last night against Israel. So and also Tsimikas and Wijnaldum also played. So are you, obviously it's probably the best time to be playing Liverpool, isn't it, in terms of all those injuries?
Yeah, for a Leicester perspective, I mean, some of our players will probably get onto Leicester players as well, because we've had our defense has been under major injury over the last couple of months as well. So it's good that they're actually coming back and certain players. But yeah, we're really looking forward to it. And I can't remember the last time we won at Anfield, but it's definitely been. I don't think we've won there since we came into the Premier League in 2014. So hopefully, I'm looking forward to this time that. Hopefully we can get a result there.
Yeah, it's always tight games, isn't it? Because I just look at your team. I'm going to come on to it now. Obviously, your last lineup against Wolves was a 3-4-2-1. Schmeichel, Evans, Fofana, who are really rated, looks really good. Fuchs, Justin, Tielemans, Mendy, Thomas, Dennis Pratt, Maddison, and Vardy. Are you expecting a similar type lineup for this game?
Probably. The only person. What's good about that team is that it's very attack focused, and we're playing with this 3 at the back formation, and it's working fantastically for us. We've kind of gone back to a counter-attacking style, which Brendan Rodgers tried to get away from, but I think especially against opponents like Liverpool and like Man City, for example, we sat back because teams like Liverpool are not going to give us the ball. You're not going to give us the ball and expect us to hit. And if you play like that, like West Ham did, that's how we lose football. But I think because you guys are the champions, just the size of Liverpool, you're not going to sit back. So I'm really looking forward to it. And also you got to remember that players like Maddison, Barnes, Thomas, I don't think, went with the under-20 and under-19s as well. So quite a few of obviously Vardy didn't go as well. So these players have had 2 weeks off there from international duty or not got into the international squad. So they'll be raring to go for this game. But I'm pretty sure that pretty much all of your squad, even the bench, would have gone on international duty.
Yeah, there's quite a few, to be honest. But I think because we've got such a lengthy injury list, we're a bit depleted there. But like I said, that lineup against Wolves, obviously a good 1-0 win. Like I didn't mention Wolves that win earlier and the other results that you had, but even that's a good win against Wolves because for me they're one of the best in the league, and that's always a tricky game when you come up against them. But for me, like I imagine all Liverpool fans it's the threat of Jamie Vardy coming up against hopefully Fabinho and Matip, but it might not be. It might be Nat Phillips who's done well in the last game he played in. Do you imagine that's where you're going to get most joy? Obviously, the creativity of Tielemans and Dennis Pratt and Maddison feeding those. You could get in and have quite a few good chances against the depleted back four, couldn't you?
Yeah, so I think you guys have seen Jamie Vardy's a pain in the arse, especially against the top six. He always seems to get goals. And one of the things he's really good at is he used to be running around like a headless chicken a lot of the time, especially earlier on before he went on that like run to get the 11 Premier League goals and before we won the league. He would his mentality was to charge down everything. But now his role is to kind of stay more central. Brendan Rodgers said, look, you're getting older now. We want to preserve your career and prolong it. Get the other guys around you and get them to do all the running for you. So you'll see people like Harvey Barnes running up top. You'll see people like Maddison that are coming in and really enjoying. I've just seen the comment as well, just there. And then the wing backs will be flying on as well. So yeah, he's still prolific, but he's not doing anywhere near as much running. He's just, some of his runs are really good because they'll take 2 or 3 defenders with him so that it creates other space for the players. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that midfield because it's an area that without Wilfred and Ndidi, we thought we would struggle, but we're playing some absolutely brilliant football. My only concern would be Tielemans. I mean, he's played pretty much every minute for us in Europa League, Premier League, and then for international with Belgium as well. And he was, when we first joined us, he didn't look the most fit and he'd come off after 60 minutes. So it may be a bit too much too soon. So potentially that's an area that Liverpool could dominate us because that midfield is going to be tired.
Yeah, and I think it all depends on, like you said, if Thiago's fine, we can imagine a midfield and maybe Thiago sitting and maybe Wijnaldum and Keita on the sides of him. That creativity-wise, especially with Keita back in there, it will be a good battle in there, I think, especially like you said, for me, Wijnaldum's probably played too many games. He's went and played, I think he played 2 full 90s for Holland, and he's played pretty much every game for us because he's quite robust in terms of not getting injuries. And there's where he gets injured tomorrow now. Touch wood. Yeah, I think that's where the game's going to be won and lost. I think at Anfield, I don't know how Leicester. How do you think they're going to set up? How do you think Brendan Rodgers is going to set his fellas up? Obviously, in terms of is he going to sit back and try and counter, or is he going to go right? We are good when we're going forward and just go up and kind of go for that tactic.
I think against the bigger teams, especially like Liverpool, he's going to sit back. So if you're going to look at a match that we're going to try and play, it'd probably be the same as Man City. Liverpool, we know, is a hard ground to go to. I mean, again, I'll say to you, I can't remember winning there. So just to get a draw even will be a good result for the way you guys are flying. Obviously, you've got injuries out, but it's still a daunting place to go. And we saw last year when we went to Man United, the players because of they're young, they got intimidated by the atmosphere. So I think it'll be a similar kind of thing with you guys and the atmosphere. I think overall, though, we're probably going to set, again, of a 3-4-3. We're going to be all right going forward. But I think we'll sit in on the counter and wait for you to attack because at the moment, it just seems like the 3-4-3 that we're playing or the 3-4-1-2 is just working sublimely for us. And don't change a formula if it's still working. Exactly,
yeah. Like I said before as well, like Fofana, good little comment here from our editor of our website, Dan Moxon. How do you feel about Wes Fofana? From what I've seen, I think he might be one of the best low-key signs of the season. Agree with that?
He's been brilliant for us. one thing we have to say is that we've been linked for him for a while. We've been linked to him for about a couple of months. It was like, will they, won't they kind of sign them, because they lost Saliba already. St Etienne lost Saliba to Arsenal, and they really didn't want to let him go. And ironically, their manager was Claude Puel, our last manager. So we thought, he's doing one on us. He's doing one again. Here we go. So he was, at the time, we were not sure he was going to be a great player as Leicester fans, because he'd played a handful of, I would say, like 20 odd games for St Etienne, and our scouting is quite good, but we paid 35 mil for it. And I went, that's a lot of price tag on his head, because I think Yuri Tillemans cost that much, and he had 6 months with us and pretty much scored a goal or assisted every game. So we're thinking this is a lot for a guy that's never played. And then he came in the Aston Villa game and he looked decent, and he's just looked absolutely brilliant since. He's just unbelievable. Just in the presence in the air, his ability on the ball. I think you'll probably see for the match how we rate him. But he only literally came in because Söyüncü got injured. But before that, he'd never played a Premier League game, and he'd only played a League One game in France. And as you guys know, it's like the levels are just too different. But the club obviously saw something in him, and I'm just really glad. I'm really annoyed that everybody else has picked up on him though, because it just means that the vultures are circling. And literally before the international break, some people were talking about Man City putting a 75 million bid in, and I was like, he's been at the ground for like 1 month, and the rumors are already starting. You're like, can you just piss off for a second? Because we'd like to keep some of our players.
Yeah, and I think it's just the way of the age of footy. Like I've only seen snippets of him, and from what I've seen, like he's 19 years old, he's 6'3". Like you said, he's good on the ball, he's quick. He's everything you want in a modern day centre half. Like I put Virgil van Dijk as the best in the world, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And if you can, like, he's got all the tools to be like a kind of a clone of Van Dijk in a way in terms of the future. But I know he's really, really young and he's got loads of learning to do. But if he's got the right mentality, which he probably has, otherwise Brendan Rodgers wouldn't have signed him. He's destined for big things for me, I think. But yeah, I've got another comment here from Matt Ramirez about another one of your guys. Fuchs has been played left of the back three lately. Are you concerned about his lack of pace against Liverpool's attack?
He's been absolutely brilliant for us. So when we got him in 2015, we were like, oh, is this Austrian captain is brilliant. This year, because of coronavirus, I think him, Wes Morgan, and our third backup keeper were actually planning to leave the club. But a lot of players that we realised, crap, Corona's come, let's just hold on to them, especially because we were destined to get Champions League. And a lot of the targets we were looking at were going to say, yeah, if we get Champions League, we'll come to you. We had, I forgot his name now, one of the guys from Caviero from Sporting Lisbon, I think, was planning to come to us. But the caveat was only if you get Champions League. The last game of the season, we missed out on it. So a lot of our targets just dropped because they knew we weren't getting the football. And obviously, with the spending power of Europa League and Champions League is two different things. So we just kind of held on to all these players. However, Fuchs has come in and looked absolutely sublime. He's lost his pace, yes, but his positional awareness, his way that he commands, like we've got Luke Thomas, who's 19 years old as well on the wing, one of our academy graduates, which obviously Leicester fans, we love to see. He's kind of telling him where to go, and he's just absolutely sublime. Again, he's not got the most amount of pace, but playing in the back three when you've got Johnny Evans and Fofana, I think you should be okay. But his experience is something that we really need this team, because we haven't really got a lot of it.
Yeah, and I think he was instrumental in, obviously, your title win as well, wasn't he? He was great in that season. I think when you get to that certain age, you've got to kind of redefine your role, and you've got to think about, well, where's going to suit me best. And I think there's been a lot of like left backs going to like the left of a three recently. I think I like Ben Chilwell, not Ben Chilwell, sorry, Aaron Cresswell for West Ham. Like, yeah, you don't think, can he play there? But it's like any modern day footballer, really, like a left back should be able to play on the left of a three and at the back. And especially Fuchs, like his technique is probably up there with the best in the league in terms of striking the ball and passing. So you think that would be ideal for him, really. And he's, like you said, the only thing is the pace. And if he's on that left, then coming up, I imagine, against Mane, because Salah's out, Mane will be on the right, I imagine. Jota on the left and Firmino up top. So he's got his work cut out anyway. It's going to be, like Matt said, if that's where the game's going to be won and lost, like those little duels all over the pitch. Like we said, the midfield's going to be tight. We're missing fellas at the back, so Vardy might have have a bit of joy up there. Like if we had Van Dijk and Matip, he would have been like, no, it's going to be difficult. But Matip and Fabinho maybe might get some more change out of them. I'm not sure, but it's gonna be a tight one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it'll be. I think Leicester and Liverpool for a while has always been a good game. It's never been boring. I remember even in the year that we won the Premier League, you guys beat us 1-0 at your ground, and that was an end-to-end kind of game with a 4-4-2 with Benteke, which seems like absolutely years ago now. That was, but it's always been a good game. Either obviously I was at the Boxing Day game when it was thundering it down with rain, losing 4-0 after 80 minutes. And we're just sitting there in the rain going, oh no, here we go again with Leicester. But it was good. It was really good to see them. And I think Liverpool have always put up a good fight, obviously, because you're Liverpool. But against Leicester, I think we've really stepped up our game, and we tend to turn up against the bigger teams as well.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, the away games you've won, like Man City, Arsenal, Leeds as well, that's maybe something Brendan Rodgers has learned. I mean, like, obviously, when he was at Liverpool, that 13-14 season, we were just tremendous in terms of attacking. So we know he's got that capability in his locker to put an attack in place and it to work perfectly. But to go to these grounds, like beating Man City at their place, beating Arsenal at their place, and beating Leeds as well. Like before the start of the season, I might not thought that was a good result, but now after we've all started to play Leeds and we've seen what they're about, like those three performances, obviously that's huge, and that shows just how good Brendan Rodgers is, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he's been brilliant for us. We weren't sure. There was a lot of hesitation about what happened over the summer, about will he get the signings in? Because obviously we lost Ben Chilwell, and we didn't. I think we were the second last team to sign a player, apart from then Man United signed a player. So it was looking not very good, especially since we've got the Europa League as well this season, and we didn't really have the strength. And our Thai owners lost a load of money because they own a load of stuff in duty free. As you can imagine, coronavirus, a lot of that business just went. So there was a lot of turmoil. But Brendan Rodgers has turned it around, and he's actually made this squad play as a squad. And I don't know what your experience was. I think it was kind of similar. There wasn't as much expectation at Liverpool when he first joined, but obviously once he went on that run, it was kind of, well, you have to kind of win the league now. But it was still to go from the Roy Hodgson era to where Brendan Rodgers took them. I think is still a massive achievement for you guys. Yeah,
he was great, and I think he gets tarred with the brush of, he had Sterling, Suarez, and Sturridge, but it was like, well, he still sorted that team out and put it into a formation where he could get the best out of Luis Suarez, really, and that's what he did. And I think he gets a bit unfairly judged for me by a lot of Liverpool fans, but obviously I touched on, I talked to you before we started. I really liked him at the club. Obviously, I wish we would have went on to win that title in 13-14 because what could have been, like, obviously history would have been completely differently. But I'm glad that he went away and then came back to the Prem, and he's doing well for you. So I'm glad he's doing that, just to solidify that he's a good manager. I think that was taken away from him a little bit. I think, like, he went to Celtic and obviously won everything like you expected. But the fact that he thought, right, I've got to come back to the Premier League now and really show that I can do it with a team who can fight on all fronts in terms of getting into the Champions League like he's nearly did. Do you think that's a viable option this season? Obviously, I know he's atop the league, but do you think, like, in terms of obviously a 38 game season, do you think you can actually do it this season?
I would say let's we're enjoying where we are. Let's say that we'll enjoy the first place for now. We'll see how it goes. But with Europa League, and we haven't got a deep squad, we really don't. And you guys probably know, a few years back when you're in Europa League, it takes a lot out of you playing Thursday, Sunday, and we don't. We have two strikers, and that's it. Like, we have Jamie Vardy and Kelechi Iheanacho, and after that, we don't really have any out-and-out strikers, for example. When we pick up a few injuries, then the team has to play the same team game in, game out, and it's not that great for us. At the end of the season, I would just like to finish in, because we finished 5th last year. If we could finish anywhere from 7th to 4th, I'd be really, really happy with it, because as long as we're around that position, because I think we're no longer a bottom 10 team, we're a top 10 team, but you have to keep that consistency in the Premier League for a certain amount of time. Once you get that consistency, that's where you get the proper, you get like the basis to build on, and that's kind of where we're looking to now. So again, I don't think we're going to win the league. I hope we do, but we're not looking like we're going to. It's going to be you guys will turn up once injuries come flying past as well. So, and we've got Europa League, so I'm hoping we do well. But yeah, we're just enjoying where we are at the moment and the players we've got. But I don't expect anything too drastic this season.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think there's always a worry from fans, especially with like Twitter and stuff. Like, yeah. where's the club going? Like, what like immediate reaction to every bad thing? I think and people have kind of just forgot to live in the moment and just be like, right, we're top of the league. Like, you are by a point. You're doing really well. You've won 6, lost 2. That's obviously top of the league. You're doing really well, and like, it's just embrace that and just see what happens. Obviously, that was what happened in the season you won the league. It was kind of like, well, when are Leicester going to fall off a cliff, and when are they going to fall? And it kept happening every like 4 or 5 games. Right, this is the game, and it never happened. And I think that's, you've just got to like ride the wave, haven't you? I mean, like, Brendan Rodgers knows better than most. Obviously, that 13-14 season, if you gain momentum, you just don't know what can happen, do you? Like, it's just one of them. But I've got a question here from Jay, who does the podcast with me usually. How much has Brendan Rodgers changed the club in your opinion? Obviously, you're like Claude Puel, wasn't it, your last manager? Obviously, before you had was it one of your assistants in between, I think.
Yeah. So we had obviously Ranieri. We saw 4-4-2, hit him on the counter, all brilliant. But then I think the club realised that this team is aging. So you had Huth, Morgan, Simpson, Fuchs at the back. These guys were getting older. The plan was to kind of move it on and then move it to another style, because the year afterwards we got found out, everybody was giving the ball to us and we couldn't play. So the reason why I'm bringing it back there is because Club Puel came in and slowly changed stuff. He's not really liked, to be honest. A lot of fans don't like him, but it's in the same way that Brendan Rodgers, they played a really big role in the development of these players. So when Brendan Rodgers came in, or Jurgen Klopp for you guys, there was this kind of foundation of, right, we're going to build again. And that's what he's done. He's just took it up to the next level. So yes, at the moment, we'll probably play counter-attack against you, but we have multiple styles and multiple ways of playing, which is really, really useful for us in order to develop a great team dynamic and play against different opponents. So he's really changed the club for the better. He's kind of, and also when you've got a player like Brendan Rodgers, they know he's managed players like Liverpool. We attract a higher caliber of player. So people like Yuri Tillemans would want to come to us, who's now scoring for Belgium and stuff like that. It's great to see, but we're just, as Leicester fans, I think we're just enjoying having him in, because it's going from Claude Puel to him was such a big step. It was just unbelievable. Mostly just because of his tactics and his insight to other players. However, even with the 2013-14, we had a result against Brighton, a 0-0 last season just after lockdown. And we had a Liverpool fan on. Doug, if you're watching, thanks for coming on our show. I said to him, lads, it feels like we're doing what Liverpool did. And he goes, yeah, this is exactly what happened. And we just went, oh no. And then lo and behold, we ended up losing Champions League football. But I think he's learned his lesson. But again, we're not hoping too much, because we see how his teams can burn out towards the end of the season.
Yeah, and I think people forget as well. Like, I'm just looking now, like he's 47, which like in terms of age of a man, he's middle age. But in terms of a football manager, he started young. Like Jurgen Klopp, I think, is 50 odd. So he's still young and he's still learning his trade. Like you said, you've got these different styles of football now. Whereas at Liverpool, when he was at Liverpool, we only had one way of playing, and that was, we're going to attack you and just keep attacking. That's it. And then if we concede 3, we're going to score 4 or 5. So in terms of that, you can see that he's progressed and maybe he's learned. Because I think, well, like with Jurgen Klopp, like this heavy metal football that we were meant to be playing when he first joined, there was a lot of like gegenpressing in terms of like non-stop running. And I think we'd still do that, but we can mix it up now. We can play long ball. We can play into channels. We can adapt our style to whoever we play. And I think that's what Brendan Rodgers is starting to slowly learn, that he can change it up. And obviously with the personnel you've got, you can afford to do that. Like Maddison, one of the best in the league for me by a long way. Tielemans is one of the best in the league, and you've got Vardy, who's obviously top goal scorer alongside Mo Salah and Son and Calvert-Lewin, I think, on 8. So you've got the firepower and you've got the ammunition. So I think it's obviously if he stays there for a couple more years, you've got that. You need a bit of repetition in terms of keeping a manager. You need to keep him there, and after
Yeah.
a few transfer windows, you can push on. I think that's definitely viable for you, isn't it?
I think so. I think so. It is for you, and it's the same with Liverpool. I think as well. You went through these spells of just getting rid of managers, getting rid of managers. You've managed to get one now that works for you guys. So, and we are in the era, I think, for the last 5 odd years of just cycling through managers. Players do it. I'm surprised, to be honest, that Pep, I think, recent today has announced that he's signed a new contract, but they just cycle through managers all the time. But you've managed to find a manager that works for you. We've managed to find a manager that works for us. And the fact that he's playing different formations is really good. And you need that in order to do well in all competitions. You can't just have one formation and play. Because, again, I think one of the reasons why we both we played 4-1-4-1 last year and got burnt out, partly because of injuries and partly because we just burnt out as well. So it was one of those things where he's learned from it in a very short space of time, because this transfer window and this over the summer break was not long at all. So he's managed to learn from it and get these players playing to a brilliant level. So I'm really looking forward to the Sunday match, though, because I think both teams are going to be right up for it, really up for it. And normally Leicester-Liverpool is a good game, but this match in particular, I think the fans are just... Also, I think we were all a bit bored in quarantine, so we're just waiting for our teams to come back to football.
Yeah, that's it. And I think obviously with the international break and with just any game of footy where it involves obviously your club, you wanna dive straight into it. And I think that's what it's going to be like, isn't it, for this one? Let's have a look for the comments here. Obviously, that one from Anfield Talk. Love it. Nice one, lads. Greg Power, not losing sleep over defensive problems as long as we keep scoring. I think that could be said for both of us, really. Like, we just touched on Brendan Rodgers' tactics for Liverpool. It might be, I don't know, like you said, Brendan Rodgers is probably going to come and sit back and try and pick us off. Obviously, the pace of Vardy, that's enough to scare any team. That's probably the way it's going to go, isn't it? I imagine, like, I think it literally all depends on, I don't know if it's going to be like a case of Brendan's going to wait for the teams to come out. Obviously, that might sound mad, but if Fabinho's starting alongside Matip and we've got Thiago in there as well, we're a completely different prospect, in my opinion, because we can just recycle the possession from side to side, especially at home, and just try and tire us out. And I think without those two, I'm not saying obviously we're hugely weaker, but it makes your attack more promising, I think. Do you agree with that?
Potentially. I think it would be a game where it's won at both attacking ends. I think midfielders, if your Thiago is up for it, Mendy's actually been really overlooked. He's a really good player for us. The midfielders, where it's going to be won, but at the same time, like, your attacking force and our attacking force is still something to be reckoned with. So it could be a game for 4-3. It'll be really exciting to have a 4-3 game. I don't think we've had a really high-scoring game where you've not blown us away, to be honest. You've kind of won 4-0 or 3-1 or something. So at the same time, it's great to see. But yeah, defensively, it's not. I think all teams this year have been weak defensively, to be honest. So the like when we were doing we're looking at our show, we're looking at all the attacking force, and you look at the defense, and there's not really been any defenders that are really standing out. It's all the attacking players. You look at the top of the league now, where you've got Vardy on 8, as you're saying, Calvert-Lewin on 8, Salah on 8. All the attacking is going forward, and that's kind of what, as a neutral, that's what you'd want. You want high-scoring games and stuff like that. So I'm really happy that it is this way. However, it makes for interesting football for a neutral and hopefully for both of us. But I still think we can nick the win, even though I can't even remember the last time we won at Liverpool.
Well, it's funny you just brought that up, because I've just literally had a little look then because I was interested. So the last couple of fixtures, obviously 4-0 to us Boxing Day last year, 2-1 before that to us. It was then a 1-1 draw, 2-1 to us, 2-1 to us, 3-2 to us. The last win for you obviously was a League Cup in 2017. Before that was a 3-1 win at your place in 2017, February. Does that ring a bell? It doesn't ring a bell for me. I don't know if it's...
Yes, I think that's when we sacked Ranieri. I think that was the match after we sacked Ranieri, and it was Craig Shakespeare's first game in charge, and the media and everything was. But again, that was at our ground. That was not at Liverpool. So I can't remember when we won at your ground, but there's been many a cold away day. And trust me, when you've got somebody like Salah, who always, probably like Jamie Vardy, always seem to score against us as well. When he's playing, it's a real nuisance because we really don't like. We like him when he plays with the teams, and I like him because I've got him on my fantasy team. But I don't like it when he plays against us because he's just a dream to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. He's great, isn't he? Right, I've got the answer for you, Neil. The answer is, according to my sources, 3rd of March 2001.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Oh, at least it was this millennium, this side of 20th century.
Yeah, that's the thing, I think. Actually, no, I'm mistaken. Before someone corrects me. It was the 3rd of May 2000. So
okay.
There you go. Jay is in there straight away. Knew he would. Yeah, 3rd of May.
Fair enough. 3rd of May 2000. Yeah, that's so much.
Yeah.
Again, if there's a time to play you, it is now.
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean. It's probably long overdue, obviously, and like you said, the amount of injuries we've got, it's scared me a little bit. It was a nice little relief before just to see Thiago and Fabinho at least in some training gear at the new training ground. Because I don't know if they were doing it on purpose, like not taking any pictures of them, just to like wait until getting towards the end of the week and then surprise us with it. Because I was really worrying out for a minute there. It really was. Jay, stop putting. We've just put comments in like this. 13.
Oh my god!
Leicester in the Premier League. Can you name them all?
Right, Emil Heskey. We'll get the easy ones done straight away. Emil Heskey. That's all I've got, to be honest. Who else have I got to play for Leicester and Liverpool? Of recent history, you see, all our players end up going to Chelsea of recent times. So in the recent era, I can't imagine. It might have been really old school signings. I can't think of too many.
Yeah, I know that's bloody hell. That's difficult. Give us some answers, Jay. Give us a little hint.
Heskey for sure.
Heskey's defo in there, yeah.
Yeah. Heskey, there we go. He's got one in. Heskey, I can't think of too many others as well. Literally, I've gone blank because we know some players, but Liverpool, there's not really too much. Yeah, Premier League only. Yeah, that's fine. But again, it's since 2000 we came out of the Premier League in 2003, then we came back in 2014. So that's like a 10-year gap, and from 2014 onwards there's not been a single player that's played for both.
Yeah, right. We'll leave that.
Danny Ward. There
we go. Jack Hobbs.
There we go.
Why are we
Stan Collymore. Right, we're going back.
Why are we bringing up this fella for?
Some of these don't ring too many bells. Stan Collymore does. Chris Kirkland a little bit, but this is a bit before my time.
Yeah, Chris Kirkland was okay. He's very injury-prone goalkeeper. Jack Hobbs was like one of our youngsters. I think he must have went to use briefly. But yeah, we'll leave that there because we'll be here all night. Otherwise, trying to think of them. Should we go straight to score predictions, Neil, before we finish up? What are you thinking for Sunday?
I think hopefully we can win. I'm thinking it's going to. Normally, I've done a 1-1 draw for like the last 4 games, but I think I'm hoping it's a 4-3 to us. Both defenses aren't looking too good. Just something that we put in Castagna, Wilfred Ndidi, and Ricardo, who's been out with literally a similar injury to Van Dijk. He's been out since March, so we've been dying to get him back in, but they're back in training now, which is good. I don't think any 3 will feature against Liverpool, but it's again, as you're saying last time, it's good to come back with a win, hopefully. But defensively, we're looking weak. But I'm hoping for a high-scoring game for a neutral as well. I think a lot of eyes will be on this game because you guys won the league last year, because we're top of the league. There'll be a lot of people looking to see what's happening, and obviously with Liverpool as well. I think there's going to be. It's going to be a good game, in my opinion. It could go either way, but I think, as we were saying before, both teams are going to be right up for this one.
Yeah, and like we all said, there's going to be goals. Like if you look at the last 5 fixtures, for example, so there's 4 the last game, 3 the game before, 2 the game before that, 3, 3, 5, 2, 3, 4. The last clean sheet was 2004, which was a 0-0 at your place. So for me, it's gonna be fireworks. I think obviously, like I said again, if Fabinho and Thiago are fit, I'll feel 1000% more confident in it and getting a result. I know we're at Anfield still, so I'm still confident. But if we've got those 2 in there, even maybe just one of them, even maybe just Fabinho, we've got Fabinho and Matip at the back. Obviously, Robertson should be fine, and then maybe we're going to have maybe James Milner at right back. I think obviously Trent's out. We've got Neco Williams, who I don't know if he'll risk him there. That for me, Milner, Fabinho, Matip, and Robbo as a back 4 is still solid as anything. I think he might play like a double midfield, a double pivot in front of the. Yeah, so I think he might go. He might even go like Wijnaldum and Keita if Thiago's not fit. I think just to cover the back 4. I think.
The interesting thing recently, I think, as well, is that used to be if you take Vardy out the game, then you've not really got much else, especially after Mahrez left. Now you've got the likes of Barnes, who's doing really, really well for us. You've got Maddison in behind that. You'll have Tielemans, Mendy. You'll have James Justin. Maybe Castagna will play as well. They'll be bombing on as well. They're getting to really attacking position. So even if you take sometimes Vardy's best position is just taking people away because they know his threat. With other players in the game, we can now bring into the game. And yeah, we are scoring a lot. Jamie Vardy has got the top goals, but the goals are coming from all over the pitch. They're not just coming from one particular place, which is really, really good for us, to be honest, to see that we're getting goals from all over the pitch. And before it used to be a really good Jamie Vardy, that's it. But now we've got a whole team that feels like it's playing together and gelling really well. So, I think it should be good.
Yeah, like you said, like Vardy, he's one of them who he's kind of refined his role, hasn't he? Like you said, he's not running everywhere like he's used to from obviously coming from non-league and then making the step up. He's really refined that, like not running everywhere and being quite decisive in the runs he makes. And so I think, it's gonna be a great game. I can't wait for it. Like you said, any club footy we would have been rasping, but the fact that it's a tasty Liverpool-Leicester game at Anfield on a Sunday night, it's gonna be an interesting one. So did we do score predictions before? Sorry, I got distracted with that Leicester quiz.
Yeah, I think I said 4-3, and I think did you say 2-1, or was that just in the comments?
I think Dave. Let's have a look. Dave said 2-1. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna mirror that, Dave. I think I'm gonna go 2-1. I don't ever fancy us to keep clean sheets anymore. So, especially if we've got no Fabinho back there, I imagine Vardy will probably get his standard goal that he always gets against us.
Also, one thing as well, Fofana may not be fit. He's only like 50% chance of playing. So it might be a backline of Johnny Evans and Christian Fuchs. So that would be good for you guys as well. But we're still nursing a lot of injuries at centre back. And then we've got Wes Morgan, which again, that backline has got no pace. So if we are going to play 3 at the back, that's gonna work into your hands. But hopefully you guys will play just as weak defence so we can do the same at the other end.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like when you look at Brendan Rodgers and Klopp, they just want to attack, and the fact that we're not, like you said, but defensively we're both not looking the best in terms of injuries. So it's shaping up to be a very high scoring one. So I can't wait for it, mate. But we'll leave it there. We've been 38 minutes, I think, there. So go and check out Neil's stuff. Was it Beyond the 90, isn't it?
Yeah, you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then YouTube at Beyond the 90 LCFC. You'll find us there. And yeah, thanks for having me on, mate. I really appreciate it.
No worries. I'll put the description in all your socials in the description as well. I'll add those on after this video. And thanks again, Neil, for coming on. Give us a like. So obviously, you've seen a couple so far. Give us a subscribe, and we'll see you next time.